Sharon Bill, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching my music theory tuition videos, I want to help you to get the most you possibly can from those videos so that you are super secure in your knowledge and then you're really ready for your music theory exam. And so the first thing that I would suggest is don't just copy through with me as you're working through the videos. So don't just work through with me and just keep the video running and just keep copying it through. That is far too passive, and so the information won't be retained so thoroughly. The psychologists have a memory theory and they call it the trace theory. If you imagine that your brain is like a plasticine model, if you just sort of learn something passively, they suggest that it makes just a thin trace, just a thin indentation in your brain, and then it's soon sort of forgotten and sort of wiped over. And that's what copying passively just does. It's very, very superficial learning. Whereas they suggest that you should spend any amount of your learning time, 90% of that time should be spent on recall. That's really dragging up information to mind and really scratching your head and thinking about it. That way it's not passive, it's a really thorough sort of committed learning model. And then you imagine that in that sort of plasticine brain model you're making a really deep indentation, and that deep learning will be retained much more thoroughly. And so the harder you're having to think, the harder you're having to work, the deeper the trace memory. That's just a theory, but I do think it explains it well. And so 90% of your time should be spent on recall. That means you must be trying on your own, and even if you're getting it wrong, it doesn't matter, you will learn from those mistakes. And so what I suggest you do is that you press pause, have a go on your own, and then come into the video and watch it again to check your answers. Imagine that you have to be responsible for your learning journey. A teacher can help you, a teacher can guide you, but you have to do the learning. And so as such, what I suggest you do is that you try each exercise on your own first of all, and then come back into the videos to check it through. If it is that you're completely new to a certain topic, you may want to watch one or two exercises first just to sort of get to grips with the knowledge, then press pause and then have a go on your own. Don't just work through the whole section and leave yourself nothing more to work on. Allow yourself to sort of gradually improve and keep giving yourself exercise by exercise a learning journey that way. If it is that you're working on past papers, I suggest that you complete the whole paper as a mock exam on your own. It doesn't matter if you go wrong, it doesn't matter if your first few papers are really rubbish marks, that's okay. It's good to make those mistakes now so that you can learn from them, and then by exam time you won't be making those mistakes. If it is that you really don't feel sure at all, then by all means work through one paper with me on the videos and then try on your own again. If you find that the same topic continually keeps on tripping you up, then yes, by all means go back into the workbook, revise that topic, go back into the videos that explain that topic, and then test yourself again. Always 90% of the time is testing yourself, bringing that stuff back to memory. And so as a help to do that, of course just pausing the video is one thing that you can do, but I found some shortcuts that you might find helpful. So I put some video drop-ins where I'm showing you how these shortcuts work. So if you're looking at the videos on a mobile phone, of course if you slide along the bar, that will move large chunks of time. However, on your mobile phone, if you do 2 taps to the right of the screen, that jumps you forward 10 seconds. If you do 2 taps to the left of the screen, that takes you back 10 seconds. And then as you increase each tap, that will take you forward another 10 seconds. So 3 taps on the right takes you forward 20 seconds. 3 taps on the left takes you back 20 seconds. 4 taps on the right takes you forward 30 seconds. 4 taps on the left takes you back 40 seconds. 30 seconds, sorry. 5 taps takes you 40 seconds forwards or back, and so on in 10-second increments. So that's just so you can shuffle backwards and forwards on your mobile phone screen. If you're watching the videos on your computer, there are some other things you can do. Obviously, there's the long slide bar at the bottom to take you forwards and back large chunks. However, if you use your cursor arrows, forwards or back, that will take you forwards or back 5 seconds following the direction of the arrow. And then on top of that, letter J takes you back 10 seconds. Letter K is a pause, as well as the space bar, of course, and then if you press it again, that will play again. And then letter L takes you forward 10 seconds. So J is back 10 seconds, K is pause, L is forward 10 seconds, and then forward, a frame at a time, is the full stop, the period, and the comma takes you back a frame at a time, just tiny increments of a frame at a time. You perhaps won't need those, but they're interesting to just bear in mind. And again, it really doesn't matter if you go wrong. Always work in pencil. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. You'll learn so much more thoroughly that way. Don't forget as well, on the PDF documents, there's lots of information in those documents. You can download those for free from my website, sharonbill.com. And you can also find in the back of those some revision tips on the musical directions, the performance directions, the musical terms, and it also gives you some revision tips. And don't forget, they build up accumulatively, and so grade 3 is all of grades 1, 2 and 3, so do go back to the earlier grades as well and use those little tests and those revision tips. And in addition to that, you'll find I've got some books available which you can get from Amazon, just giving you those last little bits of exam technique, timing and revision tips and so on. So I do want to encourage you to really make the most out of these videos. If you're just going to copy through, you're going to be losing quite a lot of knowledge, whereas if you just follow those tips, you'll get the maximum use out of those videos and you'll really get to grips with your music theory. Enjoy your studies. Thanks for watching. Bye.